Okay, let me not waste any time whatsoever. Let me thank all Nigerians, or I don't know, everybody who played a role in bringing us back also on YouTube. YouTube decided to ban us for 90 days, but whatever happened in less than a week or about a week, they released us again to continue to do our stuff. Okay, I have four lessons I've drawn up from the last NSAS. You call it protest, I call it social experiment because the whichever way we want to look at it, these are things that are tending towards the revolution or complete change or transformation from the old to the new thing we are all looking for. That simply means it is time for young people in Nigeria to take their own destinies in their hand and no longer wait for people who are out of touch with the reality telling them, oh, you are leaders of tomorrow, and they keep pushing the tomorrow further far ahead. But it is not yet a whole. The NSAS protest that just happened in Nigeria, across Nigeria, has lessons for us. I saw it as a social experiment, and that was why I decided to go to Ogun State. Not only to ignite it, but also to sustain it. And I'm happy we were able to achieve it. Let me begin by saying that I was in Lagos. Then the guys planning fix our road in Ogun State, Ota, Songwater, they were trying to use political, people to suppress them, to say don't do it, don't do it. They then decided to call me to say they are asking us not to do it. I said even if they say you guys should not do it, and they would, even if now only me go remain for road, I they come Ogun State, we have to do this thing. And I'm happy that guys joined and we achieved it. But not only Ogun State will be my talking reference or point here, I will use Lagos too, and I will use other things. And there are four lessons I have drawn, and I want all of us to look at these lessons together. And let us all discuss them and see what is possible for us to achieve going forward. You see, number one lesson we must draw from what has just happened in this NSAS social experiment is this. You see, Nigeria needs new generation of patriotic leaders. That is lesson number one. How do I mean? Let me share my own experience at Songo. You see, when I got there, we decided to block the Songo Abeokuta Expressway. And the people at that bus stop, largely the people you call hoodlums or riffraff or touts or thugs, it became a little uncomfortable for us to relate. But because, street sense day. Number two, I don't dey go that area before, they organize some kind of seminar, street. Some of you saw the street outreaches we did, street outreach, feeding people on the street, talking to them, trying to teaching people skills, how to add this skill to your job. And so some of them already have become like friends. So when we got there, it became somewhat easier, even though they were also going to be manipulated eventually by some other. But because we were able to speak their language, and they were able to also recognize that this guy is doing this thing altruistically. These guys are not one of those people that, he's not a politician. He's not. It became easier. So even though they started trying to manipulate some of them against us, they will be the ones to tell us, Emma Bao, Drew, Emma Warrior, you know. So that is number one lesson. Nigeria needs new people who speaks their language, because these old people are not speaking the language of the streets. They can't carry the streets along. They can't carry these people along. And that is why there's a huge disconnect between the government and the people they are supposed to govern. Or, as in the context or in the case of Nigeria, the rulers and the ruled. There's a big disconnect. Big disconnect, including between the police and the community. There's a big disconnect, because another thing I saw there was that people said they did not want to see the police. You saw, if you browse our channel, you see some of the uploads. The young people said they don't want to see the police. The youth said they don't want to see the police. And the police themselves by themselves. Quite laudable. Because they saw a trustworthy leadership of the protests. They said, don't worry, nobody go pickpocket. Nobody go steal. Nobody go machete, nobody go do anything, no worry. By themselves, they secure themselves. Nigerians are organized without politics. Now politics, they divide people. And that is one of the things we must first address. So Nigeria needs a new generation of patriotic leaders. Emphasis on new generation who can speak their language. And let me tell you one of the things I did. After day 1 and 2 at Joju bus stop at Songo, we decided to go and block. On Sunday, we decided to go and block the road that leads to Winners Chapel. And on getting there, again they reiterated that they don't want to see police. And we used the front of Obasanjo police station. The young people say we don't want to see police. And we agreed with them. Okay, you don't want to see police, it's fine. Guess what happened? They started throwing stones at the police. They wanted to almost burn the police station down. But because they saw a leadership as our own, and we said, no, we are not here for that. And we spoke their language and they understood. In fact, some pastors of Winners Chapel came down off their car. They alighted from their vehicle and joined the protest. You saw, if you have not seen, browse this channel on YouTube, see our videos. You see some of them have been uploaded already after YouTube unbanned us. You see them. Pastors came down from their vehicle, joined us to sing praises, and they even led the opening prayer. But when the guys, street boys wanted to start smoking, and it was going to be affecting people who are not used to weed, again the leadership of their generation came into play. What did I do? I picked the microphone. Some of them, the pastors started coming down from the vehicle saying they are uncomfortable. The guys are smoking weed and they feel unsafe, that they may start picking their pockets, harming people, destroying vehicles. And I picked the mic. I said, DJ, calm down. Hey, you hear me? You let you now. I won't show more you. I won't say, you have to be able to carry them along. And then I said also to them, I said, Mama Pokpolo ever feel too hard. Oh, but she kini mixed venture. All of us are mixed people. Some people are not used to the smell of that thing, So if you want drum, just enter one corner, do your thing sharply, come back on join. Because some people get asthma, if they perceive that thing, they affect them. Some people, their nose go block because it's strange to their nose. They perceive that kind of thing before. Some people too, we be say that kind of thing, if he make them knock down. And we don't want casualty for this kind of thing. Oh yeah. And some of you won't drink anointing oil too, just go. But what I'm simply saying is that, and as I was doing it, it was as if I'm among them. I have never smoked before in my life. I don't smoke. Even though I have friends that smoke. But I don't. As a matter of principle, I don't even know the reason I should, though. Maybe one day I'll find a reason, but I don't. But I don't have problem with people that smoke. But what I'm simply saying is that these are pastors alighting from their vehicles who are not used to it. And I'm trying to accommodate them alongside the street boys. Then the skill has to come in. Get these guys to understand that there are people who are not used to these things among us on the road, who are volunteering to join this thing, who are even supporting the idea. Some of them started giving us money on the spot because we already rejected money of politicians who wanted us to either stop the protest, or when they saw that we could not stop the protest, we were already going on, they started saying, okay, we want to support the protest, and we still rejected their money. If you were not supporting your community before now, how come suddenly you found interest in supporting a protest against your negligence over time? I don't want that kind of money. And we returned all their money. We said we don't want. I stood against it. In fact, those that were even making the suggestion to collect, I said we don't want. Tell him we don't want his money. But some persons among us who organized it already collected it, believing that we'll be happy to hear that some people donated. The moment we finished on that day and I heard that they were donating money to, I said return their money. Don't even let it reflect in. We have been contributing by ourselves from day one. How come suddenly they are now buying it? We don't want their money. I know the kind of money I want. I don't want the money of politicians because they are how to divide us, and I'm not going to allow it. As if I was seeing the future, I will tell you much more later what happened. As they were sending the money to some of us to support our protest that without my knowledge, the moment I got wind of it, and as they were doing it, they were already telling some of their thugs too that we don't give money to your organizers. Those guys who are doing it, we have given money to them. Those guys came the next day, organized themselves to come and confront us to say, Shebi, they gave you money. But it was good that I've never taken money from any politician. And I told them right there, Timba Gbowolo, any politician to betray this cause will go kill me. They all shouted, amen. I said, hey. So the same spirit where you take shout amen for me, oh yeah, make I return them to you. If any of you here go behind us, go collect money from police, or go kill you, they know if you say amen again. I say, you see your life. See I'm now. So because you do it, you think everybody else does it. You dey mad. That was how we quell that thing. Otherwise, they don't demobilize it, they won't match at me, they won't cut me, say I collect money. Whereas now them they do them. You see the problem with Nigeria? But I'm coming somewhere. It's not enough. It's not enough. Number 2 lesson that we must speak from this thing. See, all those your so-called celebrities are on payroll. They are on payroll of the government to twist narratives and to sway people. And I'm sure already that some of you already saw what happened with the Lekki story. Some of you already saw. For me, I've never believed that celebrity can deliver anything in Nigeria. No celeb in Nigeria that I've seen. Save for the exception of some who have conscience in deed and in truth. But they are very minute. And it is as a result of orientation from some of few of us that they are able to have that kind of conscience. Otherwise, the largest proportion of celebrities in Nigeria are not built or wired for that kind of thing. Most of them are built on the orientation of make I buy Benz, make I dey Lekki, Banana Island, make I dey travel, that is the orientation of Nigerian celeb. They are not wired to liberate anybody or to fight for anybody. And I'm not going to mention names, but you know what I'm talking about already. Lesson number 3 that is important, and all of us must pay attention to, is that the people you think are smart are actually not smart. And I'm going to make that point clear now. Without mentioning names, you saw what happened at Lekki. A former governor of Lagos State and a so-called super minister in this present administration. You saw, the drama that they went to put. It was too cheap of him. If you were thinking most of these people were smart, now you know better. Also, you saw today Desmond Elliott, a Nollywood person. Now you can see they are not smart. If you think they are smart, they are not. They have lost touch completely with reality, and there's a need to replace all of this. And I'm not saying shuffle them. Don't shuffle anything. Change all of them. All those, Bob Marley will say, chase all those crazy board heads out of town. That's the next thing to do. These guys are not in any way in touch with reality. None of them. Now, it began to look to me like they are all competing to sound the most stupid. And I'll say it. You see, at first we were thinking, oh, what is wrong with that Lai Mohammed? That's what many Nigerians initially said. What is wrong with Lai Mohammed? This is not my comment though. Go on social media, you have seen them already. And the following day, while you are still thinking about what happened to Lai Mohammed for him to have come out that way, while you are still dealing with that, Fashola will come the next day and act some kind of funny drama. This time more stupid than the Lai Mohammed you were condemning the previous day. And while you are still trying to wrap your head around that, the next day, Desmond Elliott does something even. It now started looking like there's a competition to be the most stupid in this administration. It started looking like there's a competition among all of them to be the most stupid. Because while you're still trying to wrap your head about the stupid thing that happened the previous day, another person does another thing today that is more stupid than the previous. The next day again, another person does something that is more stupid than, if there's anyone that the previous day. So that is the point number 4 I'm trying to make, that the people you think are smart, yeah, I'm sorry, they're actually not. And number 4 point, before I begin to make other random comments, is this. You see, there's need for us urgently to begin reaching out to our grassroots brothers and sisters, who are otherwise called hoodlums or riffraff. Let me leave that on the screen for a while. That is, we must urgently begin reaching out to our grassroots brothers and sisters who are otherwise called hoodlums and riffraffs. Now, the reason for that is this. See, the much awaited revolution, if that is the word you choose, or the much awaited change, or transformation, or whatever word you like to give it, to be safe. The much awaited, evolution rests on their shoulders. These so-called riffraff thugs. You know why? Statistically, they are more and ready. Something that happened with this last social experiment called the NSAS protest. While the educated ones demonstrated how organized they can be on the streets, and the other ones who felt excluded because they can't entirely cope with, because they can't entirely factor in or belong in the organized atmosphere, were also organizing themselves on one hand, and they were ready tools in the hand of the people who know how to use them. Now, by the time they were still busy after they finished shooting into or at the organized people who are the educated ones, they started to remote the hoodlums or thugs to be attacking the ones that they cannot entirely fit into, to make them look like, oh yeah, go and start breaking into this and that, even though they did not send them to break into malls. Those ones also understood in their own way. I give you an example of what happened at Songo. We were not most of the reason I largely could not upload most of the things we did at Songo was because we were using Yoruba language to communicate largely. Because if I speak English small, they say, we know how got in some now. It is so you boy take you might reduce their phone now. I'll come back and your Miami. A job me call my be no motion time la and job. Ah, you know, I go put am small pigeon, carry am come Yoruba level. I dey mix am to speak their language, and we're able to coordinate. In fact, from government house, all sort of people were calling to say, even into the night, people, boy, you try, oh, Songo, Ogun State, protest, organize like that. We have never seen it before. So much so that those people who believe that we were sponsored did not be, they were now attacking us. Oh yeah, give us statement of account. Because at the point they now said, the organizers now said they wanted some Omolu to join the group. They wanted to also be part of what we are doing. They love it. Those ones now came and said, can we see statement of account? What are income and expense? I say, is that your problem? If we give you statement of income and expenditure, we have deficits, are you going to pay? They say, but they learn that some politicians gave money too and we cannot be at deficit. I say, we rejected all politicians money, oh, in case you don't know. We rejected all of them. Go back to them that we did not collect their money, oh. Go back to the wherever they gave it to, they should go and collect it from them. They now start saying, how possible? How will somebody come and do this kind of thing, sustain for days, and he did not take shishi from any politician? How come? Why would I need politicians' money? Why? When I have idea of if I needed any money for the crew, for DJ and all that, we have a group already. There was even a lawyer. There was another. They were different. We were youths who are like-minded. We came together. We started contributing money. Later, filling stations started giving us fuel for free. Some companies started giving us, drinks for free. Some companies started giving us food for free to feed people. So why will I need politicians' money again? It was only day 1 to 3, I think, we really put our own money into it. But when others saw what we are doing, in fact, some of the so-called touts reached out to us and said, we are not supposed to allow you to do this protest. And they told us their reason. Guess what their reason is? That they enjoy the bad road more. Yeah. Some guys have forklifts, or what do you call this, that they used to normally lift container off the road. Some guys are members of companies that have forklifts, and trucks fall on the road every day and they kill people every day on that road. So it is forklifts that come and lift, and they have this business. Aside that, there are also some guys that it is because the roads are bad that they are able to stop Okadas on the road and collect their tickets. Yeah, pay for ticket. Oh yeah, some borrow some tickets. In fact, another person told us that it is because the road is bad that they are able to also, have opportunities to feed. So anytime the highway is locked down and people are trying to use access roads, all those inner streets, the boys go and stop there, wait for any vehicle trying to use the access road to make money off, to extort people on the road. So if we now fix the road, it will be to their own disadvantage, because people will no longer have to use the access road, and they will no longer have that money. They told us all those things, and we saw it. Now we now have divided, but at the same time, we now have some people in the town who saw what we are doing and love it and supported it. They were now the ones forming shield for us against the people who don't want us to fix. In fact, some of the people who don't even want us to fix the road have mixed feeling. One part of them don't want it fixed, but another part of them also want it fixed, because it is also, in fact, one of the the headship of those boys told us point blank that it is not as if he's not making money from this bad situation, that is where he makes money from. But he also sees that what we are doing will also help his own children not to continue what he is doing. Dare not, I won't mention name or bus stop because I don't also want to expose him unnecessarily. He confessed. He said, I know what you are. He said, Mo mọ̀ pé nǹkan tẹ́ ń ṣe yìí, káwọn ọmọ tí wàá máa kọ́ continue nǹkan táwa náà ṣe ni. We organized this so much that after we caused the traffic that extended almost to E4 from Songo, those in traffic were afraid. They were so afraid that, boys will come and be attacking them in the traffic. But those boys told us they will not because they understand what we are doing. In fact, somebody danced so much while we allowed the DJ to be playing Idris Abdul Karim, Fela, and all those their mixture of shaku shaku. Somebody had danced so much that he had was so excited that this thing is happening in his hood. He had misplaced his envelope. The envelope had his international passport, his ID card, some documents, and some money. He did not even know he had misplaced it. The person who found a so-called riffraff brought it to the stage and said, "Bon, I want to send envelope and yawo shamole egba." And I collected it. But when we opened it, we called the name of the person. At that point, we were even calling the name. I had not even realized that he had misplaced his envelope until we called his name and he came to this. Envelope me re. Thank you so much. God bless you. I said, see the person who found it. You can now see that the people you call riffraff and you always try to avoid are actually responsible. They only need to encounter the proper orientation and show off love and relatedness. Let's relate with these people. The revolution you are all looking for and clamoring for rests on their shoulder. How do I mean? As of the time that they said hoodlums were breaking into warehouses to go and cut foods away, as of the time they were reporting that they were breaking into the Oba of Lagos Palace to go and pick his staff of office and the rest of other items, were those ones the so-called educated people. You cannot drive a revolution on the shoulder of only the educated. You need everybody on board. So we must continue to reach out to the grassroots of these so-called people who you call hoodlums or tag riffraffs. They only need the right orientation. They have energies. We just need to capture these energies and redirect them. So we must go back to the grassroots and capture all these people. Both the riffraff, the thug, NURTW. It is dangerous, yeah, we know. But we must do it. It is the first revolution before the revolution we are all dreaming of. The first revolution is revolution of the minds, of the mass of people you are trying to run away from. That is the critical mass. Because the Nigerian system has so much done that they have miseducated or deliberately left majority of these people uneducated, and they are using them. So we must first reclaim them before we can reclaim Nigeria. Take it from Segun Olo. We must first reclaim these people before we can reclaim Nigeria. So let's go back to the grassroots and recapture all of these people one after the other. Yeah, let's spread it over time. I am not, see, when some people were saying fight for the Dual Republic, I said that is not what we need in the first instance. If you have another Dual Republic that still has these hoodlums, so-called hoodlums, that their orientation have not been changed, you still continue to have the same problem you have in Nigeria. So we must start going back, and education is the first revolution we need. Education is our first revolution. And when I say education, I don't mean classroom education. No. Like I always tell people here that the northerners are more educated than us. The education they have is political education. They cherish their PVC over your doctorate degree or professorship. And that is what they are using to capture the rest of us who think we are educated. Yeah, that is why I said reach out to them. George, that is why I said we must reach out to them. And by reaching out to them, if you have been following my push start initiative over time, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's called push start. I reach out to them. We have been doing street feeding. We feed people on the streets and talk to them at the same time. Some of you have been sponsoring and supporting this initiative, and you understand what I'm talking about already. You know, so we need to go back to the grassroots and capture them. How do we relate with them, feed them, support some of them who have small business ideas but lack capital? Let's start reaching out to them. They were very instrumental to the success of the protests, largely instrumental in the success of the protests we had at Songo in Ogun State. So when people were calling, ah, guy, how did you do it? You tried. They don't understand that these things have antecedents. Because we have been reaching out to them over time. We have been reaching out. So we must go back. If we therefore begin to go back to every bus stop, every street, every town, every city, every state, you know, and begin to do all of these things, in no time, in no time, it may be shorter than you even think. Because these guys have energy, we only need to reorientate them and rechannel their energy. It is their energy that we need for the much awaited revolution. And I'm not talking about bloody revolution. I'm not talking about hazon. I'm not talking about fighting. I'm talking about the people that they would have used against you understand what you are doing. Let me tell you what happened the day we went to shut down the local government secretariat in Ado-Odota local government. We blocked the local government secretariat. The first thing they did was to raise false alarm that, oh, the protesters broke into the local government secretariat, they were looking for palliatives, they beat the patients from the clinic and chased them out. Lies. Everything was on record. So the first lie and falsehood we debunked as I took the microphone was to say, Egbo, they say you broke into the clinic. Yeah, I said that is what they call government propaganda. That was the first thing they did. The second thing they did when they saw that one did not work, because we have evidence of everything, they sent somebody from the palace to come and see whether it is true. It was false. I said, oh yeah, go back and tell them it is not true. We are responsible people here. Even though people are smoking their weed and doing all their stuff, they are part of us. The second thing they did was that they then went to assemble some young men, gave them brand new cutlasses. They gave them brand new cutlasses that they should come and disrupt or disturb us and machete some people. But guess what happened? The people from the town, young people, youths of Ota, already formed, I think they had wind of it, and formed fence around us as we were doing our program. They say, Emma Shetin, Emma down alone. Emma down alone, the wobby. Youths of the town who understand that we have orientated, who understand what we are doing, formed fence around us. So as they were coming with their machete, it was youths of the people of the town that blocked them and say, hey, the wobby, say ya we ni. It was young people of the town who defended us. I had no weapon, I had nothing, but I had my voice. So the orientation did some of the magic. So we must go back and do and spread this orientation, including all those girls you call prostitute, olosho, ashawo, side chick, shaku shaku. We have to go back to all of them. In fact, on Sunday, while we were having the Sunday street worship on the road to Winners Chapel, you know what I did? When some pastors were coming down from their vehicle and saying, "Oh, the bishop has just made, we are listening to the bishop and he has said he is commending the protesters, so we want to join you." They said Bishop David Oyedepo, and I started respecting that man from that day. He joined voice with us from the pulpit. He heard that we had blocked the road to the church and that we are creating another church on the road, saying, "See, don't go to church today. Let's do it together on the street." Some of the pastors came down from their vehicles and joined us, but they had one issue. They then said, wow, how do we cohabitate or do with all these ones who are smoking and all that? After I addressed those ones, say, don't let it affect people who are not used to the strange smell. And those guys understood us, and they did accordingly. But I also told the pastors, I said, if you, all of you are already saved, continue to go into your cocoon at the AC fitted tabernacle every Sunday. Are you winning new souls? Jesus asked you to win new souls, which is a primary Christian assignment. These are new souls on the streets. If you can't cope with them, how do you win their souls? It's not possible. Yeah? So you must be able to cope with people who have strange habits from your own. So it's not about whether you go to church or you know how to, you have congregation. No. Those people who can actually do the work of the gospel are people who can cope with new people. Just overlook their shortcomings. Come into them. Let them smoke whatever they know how to smoke. Let them do whatever they know how to do. Penetrate them. That's where you can gain access to them and talk to them. That is the only way you can win new souls now. You are not winning new souls. All of you, the same set of people, are packing yourself into AC equipped tabernacle every Sunday, and you say you are washing and you are saving. So how are you saving soul? So that said, my brothers and sisters, we need to start supporting initiatives to go local. The LCM of all I've been saying since I started this broadcast is, gentlemen and ladies, we must go local. I am ready to stop speaking grammar, except when I want to address people I know it is only grammar that I can use to address them. We have to start going back to those grassroots that all of you are ignoring. We can't achieve a new republic or a better country on social media alone. Most of those guys who are looting are not on social media. They don't know DJ Switch. The only ones who know this DJ Switch among them were those who were on the streets with her. And another thing I must also emphasize is this. All those so-called influencers on social media, they are on payroll to be twisting narratives. We need a new set of celebrities, and the new set of celebrities will not be those you used to know in movies. The new set of celebrities are those chosen by the struggle itself. The circumstance will throw up new set of people, and we must empower them. The streets will choose its own celebs. The streets will do that. The circumstance will do that. The agitations will do that. So we must equip them. We must support them. It is no longer about somebody we know him in the movie. The ones you know in the movie, maybe you have seen Desmond Elliot. Maybe you have listened, you have heard Desmond Elliot. That's just an example. You'll be disappointed at others when you see the way they think or hear the way they think. That said, gentlemen and ladies, the circumstance will choose its own heroes. It may be male or female. DJ Switch, I didn't know her before. I did not. But I fell in love with her courage and passion. That is a leader born by the circumstance. not one chosen from Ikoyi or body. I'm not interested. We are interested in the leaders who are tested by the circumstance and presented by the circumstance. But you guys must also begin to change your mindset. Stop patronizing people who are only interested in flying jets and going abroad, making money. Put money where it is going to have impact. Support people like DJ Switch who have strong mind, waking up, standing for what is right when they ought to. I've not met her before, but tears nearly was rolling down my eyes when I saw how she stood firm. Till now, I don't even have a phone number. I've not met her before. But those are examples of the circumstantial leaders. Aisha Yusufu, that woman. You understand what I'm talking about? Those are the new leaders we should start throwing up. I've not met Aisha Yusufu before, but I respect her. There are also examples like that in other places. Olawale Mandate, Olawale Bakare, aka Mandate in Osun State. Yeah, I've met that one before. I met him with Shore in court in Abuja. That's another courage. You now leave those ones who have everything it takes to do what they should do. You are now patronizing the ones who have nothing to offer. You are part of what we must change. The orientations we must change. Patronizing some celebrities. Buying table for 5, 2 million naira. Table for 10, 5 million naira at a yeye show. What has he achieved for Nigeria? No, what has he done? No, what have all those comedy concerts and musical concerts, what have they done? What have they impacted in Nigeria? Other than to deceive people that everything is alright and everybody goes back to bed. Nothing more. Nothing. It's time to start changing. The orientation starts from you, who is a financier. Let's start putting money where it will make impact. If truly you are interested in a new Nigeria, otherwise you are also a hypocrite. And like Jesus will say, woe unto ye the Pharisees, the scribes and the Pharisees. Scribes. The scribes are those ones who are scripting, who are determining the narrative. Pharisees are the hypocrites. We have them also in this generation. You see them? Best answer to Nigeria problem is to break up the country. Let us assume that Lagos has been broken, like Nigeria has been broken up. We now have a Lagos, for instance. Okay, now look at the instance of what happened at Lekki. The governor of Lagos State invited military. Military engaged people, killed them. Now Hausa cause am. They break it up. Now Hausa do that one. Somebody has warehouse of palliatives that they refused to release the foods to people in Lagos here. That one too now Hausa be. Hausa is your problem. You want to break up the country. See, the salvation to the Hausa people who are equally victims is in your own hand. If you shy away from it, you are a failure. Whatever you claim is the problem with Hausa people is also a problem with Yoruba people. Those guys breaking into, those so-called hoodlums, breaking into warehouses and stealing foods are also hungry. They are not Hausa people. They are largely Yorubas. 1 million boys in Lagos are not Yoruba. They are not Hausas, they are Yorubas. They are hungry. You saw how Desmond Elliot was defending what matters to him and his friends, today at the Lagos State House of Assembly. They are only defending what matters to them, which is the businesses of our friends should not be affected. Why would you even break into a palace? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now the thing is that these guys are not talking about the murder perpetrated by the authorities they represent. Murder perpetrated by the army as directed by the authority they represent, the state government. They are not interested in the murder. They are interested in why must the hoodlums break into really, and you are here thinking it is breakup that solves the problem. Like I always tell people, any Igbo who thinks outside is his problem and that they must break Nigeria up to be okay, excuse me, you think the north is your problem as an IPOB member. But when Atiku chose Peter Obi as running mate in 2019, suddenly Atiku is no longer a northern Abi. You pipe down. You were rallying around. Let's support our brother to win this election. Let's support him and Atiku. Suddenly Atiku is no longer a northerner in 2019. The same you who said the north is the problem of Nigeria, suddenly because Atiku, a northerner, chose your brother Peter Obi as running mate, Atiku is no longer a northerner. Let's be sincere for once. Our problem is not any tribe. Even if you will get to that stage, let us first solve what is the main problem. Corruption. See, are you saying there's no Easterner that is corrupt? While you are busy fighting Abuki, are you saying there's no Easterner that is corrupt? I have never seen anybody among the Igbos, as much as they say they hate corruption, they hate this, they hate the zoo, they have never gone to burn down Oji Kalu's house before. They are looking for the other tribe to go and fight. But the corrupt governors in their states, they have never gone there to fight before. You are looking for the other person to go and fight. Oh, it's my thief, leave him. Protect my own thief. Fight the other thief from the other tribe. The other tribe people are also saying, oh, it's our own thief, leave him. Let's fight the other tribe's thief. That is our problem. Gentlemen and ladies, long story short, the new narrative we must start pushing, whether we are resting the NSAS agitation or experiment at this time, or whether we are resting for a minute to come back, our comeback must accommodate these so-called hoodlums that all of us over time have been protecting ourselves against. I like to work without bouncer. There's a reason. I like to be able to mix with anybody. Why should you need bouncer if not because you are trying to say others are hoodlums? You want to select who you have access to or who has access to you. And that way you're already discriminating. That discrimination is a problem. Which is why the so-called hoodlums will not be part of the Lekki protest, but will be part of looting. While you are busy organizing yourselves at Lekki, they organize themselves to go and loot. So you must find a way to accommodate them, because you need them to be part of a cause of one people fighting for the same cause. You are fighting because you feel oppressed, but you are educated, you went to school. You now feel the other person cannot relate. It too is fighting that he is also oppressed. You are fighting against oppression, he's fighting against his own oppression. But you call him hoodlum, you call yourself organized and posh and tush, right? Now look at the division among you, or between you, two groups, posh, hoodlum. That division is a major problem. So instead of forming forces together and achieving all these things at once. That division thwarted the progress we would have achieved at this time or accomplished at this time. As a result, it is important that we therefore begin to learn from the exercises, especially this just happened or happening social experiments. We must begin to factor it in and fashion a way forward to accommodate these so-called hoodlums. They are our brothers, including all this. I used to hate Oloshos before, but now I no longer hate them. We need them. They even have all the addresses we need in the world to go and effect changes in some places. Yeah, this so-called big Oloshos, this one, they know places, they know people that you always think are your oppressors. They know them. They are the Oloshos who patronize them. We need all of them. Ah, no discrimination again, no. Whether you are Christian, whether you are Muslim, whether you are yellow, you are dark, you are tall, you are average, you are short, whatever it is, we need everybody. And we need to reorientate as many as we can. It's very important. Let me take some comments and then I close. I know if you can't kill myself, I don't try. I'm supposed to be resting by this time. Yeah, comments please. Somebody said, Shagun, the best thing to do is going after these useless politicians, pursue them to the end of the earth, finish their bloodlines home and abroad. Well, while I don't think violence takes it all, I believe that oneness, unification would be a whole lot. That said, I want to therefore suggest that, in fact, from the way you saw the little unity we saw at this NSAS protest, you can already tell that they are afraid whenever they see that people are united. Which is why the next thing they started doing was to start packing hoodlums into their SUV to come and attack protesters. They were too afraid that people were united, because that's what they are too afraid of the most. The people are not carrying weapons, no. They were only united with one voice, that's all. But they were already threatened. They were already threatened. That said, people, I want to suggest therefore that we stop discriminating against people who we should work together. That's the next phase for me to go. What plans is on ground for this breakup? Hope you're not trying to pull ourselves backward. Those who are planning for this breakup, how old are they? Think of leaping. I don't know about breakup. I think the question is for those asking for breakup. Tony John says, please provide more information about the Push Start initiative. Well, the Push Start initiative is a project I started recently to start going into rural areas, communities, to start identifying people who have small businesses or are at institutes training on catering, hairdressing, fashion designing, but upon graduation or upon completion of their training do not have capital to buy basic tools to start their businesses. So we empower them. We give them little capital to say, okay, we can afford to buy you you finished catering school, we can afford to buy you frying pan, gas cooker, this and that for you to start. And then we give the person to start their business. We upload it each time we do. Or you learned how to make hair, makeup, or you are looking for basic tools, we support them, we give them some little tools and to start. That's why we call it Push Start. We push them to start their businesses. We also identify some people who are already in business but have little challenges as a result of one or two things. That way, whenever we want to come out, there were more than 20 people, for instance, who joined us at the last protest, who have never participated in any protest in their life. Do you know what they said? If I start showing you messages of people who said, I came out because I saw you, you'll be surprised. It made me feel fulfilled to some extent. Oh, I came out because I saw you, it was you. Me, I don't do anything with boys in my area. I came out because I saw you. Not only female, including males. Say from this area, I know they relate with anybody. Now because I see now you. Now why I come out. Songo or in Ogun State. I said. So Push Start is one of the initiatives I started to be reaching out to people at the grassroots who don't have means to capital to start their small businesses. And it is funded by Nigerians in diaspora who believed in the ideology or the idea the day I announced it that I wanted to start. And so far it's been good. We don't have so much, but the little we have, the ones we can read, because we have hundreds of them. But how many have we been able to reach? Less than 50. But one person heard about us, told another person. Yeah, we get a lot of calls every time, but we don't have resources. We just keep promising them anytime we have a game, we'll come and reach you. We don't have a lot. We have little, so we have to spread it. There are hundreds. So that said, if you want to be part of the Push Start, you're welcome. Please support us. We need to reach out to the grassroots. Some of them have become prostitutes, not because it is their wish, but because they are just trying to look for capital. Thank you, Tony John. I don't know. This program is not aimed at sharing account information, but let me see if I can. Let me just put my number if you want to reach out, if you want to support, or let me just put the account information. Okay, that is the default account information we have been using over time to get donations for the Push Start. Let me raise it up a little so that the comments can also keep coming. Let me raise this up. 1 second, please. 1 second. I'll raise this up so that you can see. Let me pan it. Okay. Alright, let me leave that one there so that anyone that has similar questions can. So let me take other comments. Landry Sterling Ahmed is asking, what's your opinion on Desmond's comment on media censorship? Well, Desmond Elliott already apologized. I think if I make further comment on him, it will make me sound as if I have something against him before. Whereas I have nothing against any individual. I don't expect him to be better than the system he features in, or he is in, or he represents. I don't expect him to be better. They say if the head is rotten, or they say if something is wrong, what shall the righteous do? Okay, I'm not saying Desmond Elliott is righteous, but I'm simply saying there's a competition, sort of, or kind of, among all the people in this present administration, and the competition seems like they are all trying to outdo one another in a race to be more stupid. And I've given an example earlier in case you came late into the show. I've given an example of how somebody will sound stupid yesterday, and while you are still trying to get your head around where how can this person sound this stupid, the following day somebody will come out and sound more stupid than the one you are still trying to understand. The next day somebody will come up again and be more stupider, if there's a phrase like that in English, than the one you are still trying. So every day there's a competition among all of them to sound or appear more stupid, because it began to look at the point as if the only way you can continue to be relevant in this government is to be stupid, is to appear stupid on national TV. Yeah, is to appear stupid. Otherwise, you will not be relevant. So there's a rat race. There's a competition among them to be stupid. That's the way it appears. Otherwise, people you thought were smart, you now know they are not. Or people you thought were intellectuals are actually not. Fashola was the most embarrassing, not even Desmond. Ah. Well, gentlemen and ladies, I think I need to attend to other things right now. uh, Let me leave you with Larry Safari so I can attend to other things. Is there any other comment or question? Shola Ige says, was he Desmond sleeping when given out such speech? He has stepped on many toes. Let the toes fight back. He hasn't stepped on my own. Desmond Breast Friday says, Desmond is denied that he did not support the social media view. But people are smarter. Idi Udofia Noble. ID Udofia. My man. I greet you. How have you been? Alright, good. Um let us do Larry Safari to close. Okay? Let's do Larry Safari to close. 1 second. Okay, people. Larry Safari. Thank you. Bye for now.